Now, let's talk about assets a little bit. Okay, so this is an interesting thing because the FHA loans, which used to be for first-time home buyers, and you can move in for as little as 3.5%. People don't know that. I hear this over and over again. People going, "Well, I don't have my 20% saved up, and that's what Susie Orman told me I needed so I can park and buy a house." I'm like, okay. You don't have to have 20%, and it's unrealistic to save 20% typically. How many of you can save that kind of cash every month or every year? It's pretty hard. You got to have a really high income to be able to do that. So we look at that. The other thing that Ken was talking about is USDA, which works in certain areas, and it's for low to moderate income buyers, which really is for a family of three, $82,400. It's out in the perimeter of communities of less than 25,000 people typically, but it's a great zero down loan, and there's no mortgage insurance on it. So people don't know about that. You can go to their website and check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. So, but we also look at, and this is something that we work on a lot, I always look to maximize the leverage so that somebody doesn't pay their own closing costs and prepaids and all that stuff. We can get the seller to contribute to those things. We can also get the builder, if there's a builder, to do that because they're trying to move inventory, doing what they're doing. There's a possibility as the lender that we can pay closing costs. Now, the way we do that is you go up in the rate. There's no free ride there, so you go up a little bit higher rate. But where the rates are right now, if you're at 5.5 or 5 3/4 and the going rate's at 5%, then there's some excess capital in there that could be directed towards paying closing costs for a buyer. And so we'll work with that. There may be a balance. Like if somebody says, look, all I've got is X. I go, okay, well then let's figure out, is there a creative way that somebody can do that and they feel comfortable with that and that sort of thing too. The realtor, and this gets a little bit tricky here because there's, the realtor can't actually pay that, so what they'd have to do is reduce the commission and then pay it for you in that way. But there's a way that can be done. FHA loans allow 100% gift, okay? So you got a blood relative. When I bought my house, my first house, my father gave me a gift, okay? I did pay you back, didn't I? Yeah, now it was a gift, okay? So I'm not supposed to like pay it back. But I felt like, I got an obligation here that I need to pay that back. So, and that's just the way I work, but it may be a grandparent, it could be somebody that cares about you, it could be a significant other, it could be somebody out there that says, hey, I'll give you a gift because I want you to, to own a home. And the biggest barrier is that somebody doesn't have a down payment or something. So then the last thing would be like 401ks. You can borrow against a secured asset for your down payment. You have to carry that in your debt ratio because that's real world stuff, right? And we want to document that and do those sorts of things. But the reality is like you can even withdraw money from, and I don't usually recommend this unless it's a last resort, from your IRAs and not take the penalty. There's some IRS regulations that work with that you'll pay tax on it, but you don't pay the penalty if you're under 59 and a half.
That does actually be a gift.
Huh?
Besides, that has to be a gift.
What, the gift?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gift has to be a gift, to clarify.
A real gift.
That has to be a real gift, and no intent for repayment is intended, and there's a gift letter that says that. Okay, so you did that, and I think I gave.
I don't know what I did.
Yeah, but like I say, don't do anything that's not straight up, and I'm not suggesting that. I don't want you to do anything unethical, but the reality is like I had guilt issues with that, so I wanted to pay it. But it was a gift, and you didn't expect repayment. I accept that. Yeah. Okay. So pre-approval property. Now, one of the things that we look at is obviously credit, income, assets, and then collateral. The collateral is the property. Like if you don't pay, then what's the value of that asset worth? So we look at and we get an independent appraisal. Now there's a lot of heat that you're reading in the media right now because these guys did these little fancy things where they got their appraiser, wink wink, to appraise a property that didn't value it, that sort of thing. Here again, that's media aberrations that they love to expand, and then now we're getting our politicians involved that love to make laws and rules that you can't have a relationship like right now. I can't pick up the phone and talk to an appraiser about a value because otherwise I'm colluding with him or doing something like that. So, but the reality is you want to make sure you get a fair appraisal of the property and that it's worth what you're paying for it. And you want that as a consumer too. You don't want to overpay for a property. You don't want to be the sucker that did that. Okay.